You are good, Mr. Eric.
All right. Welcome, Torrent Tigers, to another edition of TTN6. We are happy to be here and happy to have you. We are going to jump right into your news. So here we go. Be around town update with Miss Connie. This day in history with Mr. Sam. Sports news with Mr. Eric, weather, Mr. Charles, and pop culture with Miss Ashley. And I believe I left out Mr. Terrence. Do we have a around town food update with Mr. Terrence? Local food update, Mr. Terrence?
He's teaching right now.
He's got kids right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. We do not. We're going to get right to around town with Miss Connie. Miss Connie, are you ready?
I am ready. So places are starting to open up and there's a lot more of things for us to do in and around Jackson. So today is right here is the 19th of May. On this Sunday, the 23rd, there is going to be a walk through Jackson Pass, a guided tour of Mount Evergreen Cemetery. There's a lot of military headstones, a lot of very interesting history. And you can participate in the two tours. One is from 3 to 4 and the other one is from 4 to 5. And that is on Sunday. On a week from this Friday, on Memorial Day weekend, on the 28th, if you go downtown on Friday evening from 5 to 9, you will hear some music because they have a live concert and they have a lot of old cars for you to view. Mr. Eric, can you go to the next slide, please? And then on Friday, or actually, Miss Connie circled the wrong date. That should be over here, folks, sorry. On Saturday night, May 29th at Cascades Park, they are going to kick off the summer season with fireworks at Cascades Park. So Mr. Eric, if you would click on that picture, we're going to see a preview of what those fireworks might be like.
Order you a replacement bulb. I just wanted to make sure I had the right model number before I do so, okay?
Okay, thank you. All right, well, we're having computer issues again. So that was a finale at Cascade Park a few years ago. You can go into the park or in the surrounding neighborhood to watch the fireworks display, and that is going to be on Saturday, May 28th. And that is what's happening in and around Jackson. Back to you, Eric.
Well, thank you, Miss Connie. Sorry, we could not show off that fine light show display, but you all get a good idea from the pictures there how nice that looks. So, a lot going on this coming, let's see, 2 weekends from now. Okay, we're gonna move forward. It's time for, oh, I think I clicked on the video again. Let's try this. Okay, it's time for this day in history with Mr. Sam. He is about ready to erupt, so I can't wait to see what he's got for us.
Yep, and of course that gives us a little bit of a hint today and what happened on this day in history. So I guess with all that being said, let's just go ahead. We'll dive right on into it, Mr. Eric. All right, now we are a little bit skimpy on our events today. There was a lot of things that happened on this day in history. But sadly, it was a lot of sad history, I would say. So I tried to cut a little bit of that out and keep on the fun and loving stuff, except for one of ours today. But we'll go ahead. We'll get started up at the very top in our red. On this day back in 1987, it was the first American Comedy Award. And of course, for this award, they give out 2 of them, one for the male or a man, and then one for a female or a woman. So in this case, they had Johnny Carson, who's that sharp-dressed young man on the left side in the black and white, and then our very own Betty White on the right side. Both of them, of course, are absolutely hilarious. And is Betty White still alive? Yeah, she's still,
Yes, she is.
still alive. So rocking it out. She has all kinds. I think she has a senior citizen comedy prank show. I think that she has going on too. Pretty cool. So just remember that. Well, not remembering it too quickly. All right. Now a little bit on the downer news. On this day in history, in 1919, Kalud volcano on Java erupts and kills 5,160 people. Of course, that dramatically affected Java climate as well as its landscape, and of course the people who were living on there as well. And of course, when we have that high of death toll being on an island, that can make things really tricky. So it is important to remember this type of history because we can make improvements so we don't have to, I guess we'll have a better emergency plan if there were another volcano eruption on Java. So they used history to improve on their up and coming preparations. But with all of that, we can go ahead and shy right on over to our purple section, which I'm gonna have to read it off of my slide because I can't quite see it because it was on this day in 1885, first mass production of shoes in Lynn, Massachusetts. Now, the name in parentheses, Jan Matzeliger. Let me try that one again. Jan Matzeliger. He was the gentleman who he was the inventor of the shoe lasting machine. Back in the day, especially in the 1800s, if you want a pair of shoes, you usually had to go to a specific person who would make them by hand. It was a long process, and if you had a pair of shoes, you would stretch it out and use them as long as possible. Well, this young gentleman up here created a machine that could produce these shoes on a mass level. So in other words, he didn't need humans to make these shoes anymore. He was able to come up with a machine that did all that work, and of course, it was huge. And now we can't even imagine having to make a shoe by hand. I mean, can you imagine having to go through something like this and go and stitch and everything? No. So we have machines that do that. And then last but certainly not least, we have a special birthday today. And of course, back in 1946 is when this gentleman was first born. This was Andre the Giant. Okay, he was a French pro wrestler, most commonly known for WWF, which is now, I think, WWE now. We know his iconic match with Hulk Hogan. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I remember watching him as just a wee little child. And of course, just the sheer scale of this man. He was genuinely a giant. 7'4" is how big he is? Yeah, that's tall. I'm only 6 foot. And when I stand up, you can't even see me on the screen. I mean, so you'd probably be able to see maybe his knees. So with all that, we'll go ahead, we'll slide on over into our trivia for today. Kept it kind of easy for us, so you'll need your A-B cards. Who won the first American Comedy Award? Okay, now we're looking at, this could possibly be a female, who knows, or maybe a male. But was it A, Betty White, or B, Andre the Giant? I see, can you scroll for me on that? I've got an A from Ashley, I've got an A from Shanna and David, I've got an A from Mr. Eric. Hold on, Amir, hold that up again one more time, I almost saw it. Let's see, A, yes, you got that, Amir. We've got A over in Connie. Over here, what we got? Is that Molly over here? What are we thinking? I think she's telling me A too. She's kind of positioning those fingers. And I see you, Denise and Angela. Oh yeah, we got A's from them. So if you selected A, you are absolutely correct. Betty White was the first female to win the first ever American Comedy Award. So with all that, Mr. Eric, that is today in history.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Sam. Even though I'd love to hear Andre the Giant tell a joke, Betty White is well deserving of that award. And I don't pass on an opportunity to catch a episode of Golden Girls every once in a while. So let's move on from there. It's time for your sporting news. Reminder, local sports are still going on. Here's your spring sports: baseball, boys golf, boys lacrosse, girls soccer, softball, boys tennis, boys and girls track and field. All of these great sports are going on in our community in Jackson County. You can find them at just about every high school, except for lacrosse. We don't get a lot of lacrosse in this area, but the other sports we do. A lot of track and field, a lot of softball, a lot of baseball going on right now. So if you get a chance, maybe you can get a ticket. You probably have to get a ticket right now, but get out and check out some high school sports. A lot of fun and easily accessible entertainment. Upcoming events going on. We got Major League Baseball. The Detroit Tigers faced off last night against the Seattle Mariners, winning 5-0. Moving them to 16-26 on the season. They've made a really great stand here in the last week and a half, winning 8 games and only losing 4 in their last couple of series. It moves them to 4th in the AL Central, which sounds really great, but there's only 5 teams in the AL Central. So got a little bit of more work to do, but if they can get a couple wins over the Kansas City Royals, which will be heading down to Kansas City on Friday, they could bump themselves up to 3rd in the AL Central. So they'll finish the series tonight with the Seattle Mariners. You can see that at 10:10 if you're a late night person on Fox Detroit, or you can wait till Friday at 8:10 and see them in their first game of the series against Kansas City Royals. Come on, Tigers, you can do it. Another upcoming event, big tournament this weekend, the 2021 Pga Championship is going on. Starts tomorrow through Sunday, the 23rd, taking place at the Ocean Course, Kiowa Village in South Carolina. Beautiful property. They call it the Ocean Course for a reason. You can see there in that picture, it is propped up right against a Pacific Ocean. The players will be playing for an $11 million purse. That's a lot of money. And they'll also be playing for the Wanamaker Trophy, which you see here, named after Rodman Wanamaker, the original founder of the PGA of America in 1916. PGA Championship is one of the 4 legs of the Golf Grand Slam. We'll get into that here. Here are the 4 legs of the Golf Grand Slam, played every year, except for last year. COVID kind of messed up a few things, but we just had the Masters tournament in April. Then we go to the PGA Championship, which is the 2nd leg. The 3rd leg is the US Open this year at Wingfoot. Or excuse me, I got the wrong. That was last year at Wingfoot. And then we've got at Royal St. George. This is the only of the 4 majors that is played out of the United States, and that is the British Open, also just known as the Open. So we got April, May, June, July. Those are your 4 months. We have the 4 majors that are considered the 4 legs of the PGA Grand Slam. A little bit of PGA Grand Slam history. There's only 5 players in the history of golf that have ever completed the career Grand Slam. Only 1 player has ever done a season Grand Slam, which technically wasn't in 1 season, but it was in 1 rotation. We'll say it that way. And that will be Mr. Tiger Woods down here. They kind of refer to it as the Tiger Slam because no one has ever done it quite in the fashion that he did. But up in the top corner, we've got Bobby Jones. Upper right or upper left corner here, we've got Bobby Jones. He finished the career Grand Slam. In the middle here, we see Gene Sarazen. He's holding that Wanamaker Trophy. He finished the Grand Slam in his career. We've got the ever famous Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear, right here, and then we've got the Black Knight, Gary Player. And then, of course, Tiger Woods, as we said before. Those are the 5 players to complete the career Grand Slam. And a little bit of history possible this weekend because the guy right down there at the bottom, Jordan Spieth, he has a chance to complete the career Grand Slam and join these 5 individuals to become the 6th in history to ever do it. So if he can win this weekend, that'd be quite the historical event. So keep your eyes on what's going on with that tournament. It's going to be exciting. You know what? I'm going to go back here because I forgot I got a little link here. I thought I'd show you guys the ocean course in just a minute here of what that is all about.
Less work
Some of the
time.
history behind it. So we'll watch like 1 minute here if this video will actually play. I'm going to downsize it and see if that helps. Not having the best luck with our videos today.
On a side note, I see in the upper right side of your screen, it says you need to update. I was having troubles with my videos, trying to get them linked on here. Once I updated that, they worked perfectly.
Okay.
So something for next time.
Well, I will give that a shot, Mr. Charles. Thank you. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to show you guys. It's just a few flyovers of the course, but you can see here how beautiful this property is up against the Pacific Ocean. So if you get a chance, check it out this weekend. I'm sure it's not as beautiful on TV as it is in person, but at least you can get the idea of watching the tournament. Let's move on to our sports quiz. Your question is, you're going to need your ABC cards. Complete the question. Which leg of the 2021 PGA Grand Slam is going to be played this week? Is it A, the British Open? Is it B, the Masters Tournament? Or is it C, the PGA Championship? Oh man, a lot of quick answers here. Let me scroll through. Yeah, it's unanimous. Everybody's saying C, and everyone is correct. It is the PGA Championship, the second leg of the Grand Slam. And hopefully Jordan Spieth can take the win and enter himself into history in the record books. All right, guys, that's it for sports. It's time for our favorite meteorologist, Mr. Charles Newhouse, to give us a very positive update, I believe. Mr. Charles, it's all yours.
Thank you, sir. As you see, there's a special guest on our page here. That'll make more sense.
Ooh,
Just a month. Who exactly? Well, go ahead and get your weather cards out. You caught me off guard there. Go ahead and get your weather cards out, Mr. Amir, Miss Molly. And I'd like to see, what do you guys think the weather's like outside today? We've been pretty lucky with the weather lately. Oh, I see it from Mr. Amir. Looks like mostly sunny. That's right. I was just outside just a moment ago, and it was pretty beautiful outside. So, Mr. Eric, if you hit the question mark on that TV screen there, please, that'll show us Jackson's weather. And currently, it's not even noon yet, and it's already 79 degrees. 79 degrees today. It is going to get up to 80. As you can see underneath the 80, there's a cloud, and it does say there's a 24% chance of rain. So if you live in the city of Jackson, there's 24% chance you might be getting some rain later on, but I have a feeling it won't last for very long. And if you go back, Mr. Eric, please. And move on to the next page for me, please. See, we have a couple. The interesting weather fact for today are when you have special guests on the weather report. Now, if the videos aren't working, it might not work out. They're all about 10 seconds. So if you mind clicking on one of those just to see. They always say the weather can be unpredictable, but sometimes reporting the weather can be just as unpredictable. Essentially what these are, it's when the meteorologists are reporting the weather, they have a big green screen behind them. So those green screens are connected to a weather camera usually. And sometimes there will be animals that find their way to that weather camera, and it'll show up gigantic in the screen behind the meteorologist, and it scares them. This first video doesn't look like aerial work. That's all right. This first video on the left, there was a bird that flew right at the weather camera and made the meteorologist jump out of the way. The second one, a spider started crawling right on the camera, so it scared them. And then the third one was a bee flew right at the meteorologist, it looked like. So just some fun weather facts today. And if we scooch on to the next page, Mr. Eric, and I have just an opinion question. I'd like to see what your guys' thoughts are on this. If you were reporting the weather, because we talked about being a weather watcher last week, what it took to be a meteorologist. If you were reporting the weather, which of these animals would be the most frightening to pop up on your screen? Is it a bird, B, a bumblebee, or C, a spider? What do you guys think? Amir, I saw you hold something up, buddy. I couldn't see what that letter was though. C, Omir says spider. I think that's a pretty solid choice. Mr. Sam says both B and C. Not an insect guy. Mr. Eric says C. I'm seeing lots of C's. Nobody likes those spiders. I cannot blame you. I would probably say spider myself. So yeah, I was just wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were. And as you can see, you have a lot in common with your peers here. Everybody dislikes those spiders. That's going to wrap it up for us for the weather, Mr. Eric. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. Sorry again about our technical difficulties. I'm sure those were very fun and maybe scary videos. I don't know.
Another
I
day.
don't believe Miss Connie believes your weather update of 79 degrees though. All right, it's time for pop culture with Miss Ash to close us down for the day. Miss Ash, are you ready to go?
I am, and today
Make a
we're going to be
splash.
talking about the Titanic. So we go to the next page. So there's a new organization that is going to have people able to explore the Titanic shipwreck. And that's something that less than 200 people have ever done since the ship was wrecked in 1912. So there is an organization called Ocean Gate that is planning trips, and I think it's for about 5 people. They'll go in a submarine and then they can scuba dive through the wreckage. So you click the next page, Mr. Eric. They're going to be traveling from Newfoundland to the wreck site. And I was going to show you guys a video, but I think it's on the next page. Those people that are exploring the wreckage will get to see animals. They'll get to see items that were on the boat when it sunk. You can just skip this page. I think that's the video. So I'm curious, do you guys think that it would be scary to visit a shipwreck? Yes or no? Miss Connie says yes, it would be scary. Mr. Eric says it'd be scary. SXI 5 said be. You guys all think it'd be scary? I think it'd be kind of fun. And I'm curious, would anybody want to go on this trip? Yes or no? Miss Connie, that's a very clear no. Okay, SXI 5 and Mr. Eric say yes. What about you, Mr. Amir? Would you want to go see it? No? Okay. All right, well, our next and last section is birthdays for the month of May. We already had quite a few coming up this week. We have Destiny's birthday on the 20th. We have Julia's birthday on the 26th and Mr. Marchand's birthday on the 27th. So we wish you all a happy birthday from us here at TTN6. And that is it for me, Mr. Eric.
That is actually it for all of us. want to thank all of our viewers for joining us today. And we hope that you can get outside and enjoy some of that great weather and enjoy some of the sporting events and community activities coming up that go along with that great weather. So looking forward to it, Torrent Tigers. We'll see you on the next episode. And don't forget to get out there and roar. Have a great day, Tigers.